Ooh, okay. Well, I guess we are live. Faith, where are you? We're live, we're live, we're live, we're live. Uh, Bringing you on. Happy Africa Day. Can you hear me?
I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear
Happy to see you as well.
Yeah, it's been a minute. We did a live. So, where were you since morning? Eh? On Africa Day, are you celebrating with your ancestors?
Well, it's really good to have a very reflective morning on Africa Day. Get to think
It's
about.
4 o'clock. What reflective morning are you having?
There needs to be a long reflective day. We've come a long way, so there needs to be enough time to reflect on everything that we've been through. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Uh, that's exciting.
it is.
No comments on that. I'm judging you either ways. I'm judging you great. Yeah. But then yes, happy Africa Day to everyone. I don't know. We There used to be lots of celebration for Africa Day in the past. But this year everything seemed to have gone silent. I don't know. Did people run out of budget or something?
Well, other than that, there's also been so much going on that for most of the celebrations you see, there's this underlying current of sadness and devastation, and with everything that is going on right now, insecurity, especially in Nigeria and other continents as well, and economic hardship across the world. I think that has been the tone underlying most of the celebrations, should I say? So not so much yippee and more of
So
this
that's
is
why
what.
people are not celebrating. That's sad though. That's sad.
Maybe
You know,
it is.
when I
Well,
posted this on TikTok, somebody came very angrily on the comment section. I was like, "Is there a European day?" And I was like, the bread, relax, relax. Yeah, I was like, "Is there a European day? Why are we celebrating Africa Day?" And I was like, "Guys, come on."
it's almost the same banter as when there's Women's Day and Mother's Day. If you want your
No,
own day,
no,
go celebrate
Women's Day
your
and
own
Mother's Day
day.
is too
No,
much. It's too much.
go
Just the
find your own day. Have your own extra day if you want to have a European day. There are lots of days they have for independence, for all of other things. Have your own day. Don't come bring down on someone else's parade. We're having Africa Day and we excited about it despite despite everything going on. It's still a really amazing day to reflect on all that we are and will be as a continent.
Yeah, definitely. And I think especially this year, a lot has been happening on the African continent. The AFCTA, the Africa Free Trade Agreement, seems to be taking up on shape right now. I mean, more countries are giving visa-free entry to stakeholders, and that's really cool. Nigeria just opened its border for Rwanda. Togo opened its border for every African to come in visa-free. So things are really shaping up. And for me personally, I think one thing I wanted to really celebrate Africa Day this year for was the fact that, I mean, in the past, we've worked with several partners to celebrate it. But recently, we got in touch with the what's the name again? Why am I forgetting the organization? Africa No Filters. Yeah, Africa No Filters. We got in touch with Africa No Filters and we got to learn about, the Mercator map and the misrepresentation of Africa on that map. And that was something really interesting for me, saying that I grew up with a lie, basically. Right? And it tells you a lot about history, a lot about many things we don't know, the representation of Africa globally, even in our own mindset, saying, and when you go through the report, you go through the campaign, you see that, okay, something as simple as even the size has a lot of psychological effect on what you think of the continent.
It
And that's
does.
exciting for me. Yeah.
I think that was one thing that actually blew my mind because I had no idea that Africa was that huge.
Yeah.
And when it comes to I don't want to say decolonization, but when it comes to even knowing who we are as Africans, I'm coming.
Relax.
But when it comes to even starting from what is Africa, who is Africa, I think the size and knowing how vast Africa is a very good place to start. And it was so mind blowing to see that, in one of their, promotionals and their research that they've done, and seeing how wide it is. And, all of the, I think, countries and continents that can fit into just
Yeah,
Africa alone, that was
yeah.
mind blowing.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a lot. There is a video on there because we did join the Correct the Map campaign this year just to put out those information out there for people to know. So let's take that. Then when we come back, I know our speakers are already in house waiting to interact with us. So when we come back, we'll usher them in. But let's watch that video on correcting the map. Because it's Africa Day. And yes, you all need to know more about Africa, especially you Africans. Yeah.
Everything you think you know about our world is a distortion of reality. Yep, we're still using a 16th century map projection that intentionally minimizes Africa's true size. Look at these two land masses. On most world maps, they appear almost equal. The truth? Africa is 14 times larger than Greenland. Africa isn't just big, it's a giant. It's the size of the United States, China, India, Japan, Mexico, and most of Europe combined. This isn't just about size, it's about power and perception. It's about a false sense of superiority over the global south, and this needs to change. The solution? The Equal Earth Projection, a map that shows our world as it truly is. We need your help to make it the global standard. Join the movement. Let's correct the map together. Sign the petition today.
Yeah, correct the map. That campaign is ongoing. In case you don't know, you can actually join, sign the petition as well. Nothing really big, but you can more importantly, go out there to educate yourself on what the correct the world map campaign is all about. I'll drop the URL in the comment section for you to go read up on it, see what that really looks like. You get to see what this campaign is all about, trying to show you what the equal ed projection looks like in comparison to the Mercator one. And it brings a lot of, conversations around, uh, let me see, can you hear me? Oh, yes, you can hear me. Okay. So there's a lot of conversations, around what Africa's true size is. That can really tell you the potential of Africa's landmass and even Africans, what it can really be. So please go through this. There's a lot of information. You can also partake in the campaign. More importantly, you can join the campaign and, sign the petition today as well. Really, really exciting stuff here. This organization is trying to tell us way more about what the continent is. And I would say, if you can, please, please, please join this campaign. Very important. Faith, I think I lost you there for a second. Why are you running?
I'm back. Apologies for that.
Yeah, I was scared. I was like, can people hear me yourself? But yeah, that's okay. Good to have you very much back. So yes, so we're talking about Africa. We're celebrating Africa. We're going to be, showcasing 1 to 3 projects from the continent. Um, Talking about the continent in general, I know we used to in the past we used to have more streams, but now we're getting back bit by bit, and I'm also getting joined with Faith, which is exciting. Um, but first, we have a session. Do you want to speak about that session, Faith?
Yes, yes. So we have on board in the panel, we have Wendy Daki, and we have Lola Day as well joining us in a panel session that is going to be speaking about how to build your creative career without losing yourself. And I think we can all agree that being a creative has a lot to
I've
do.
lost myself.
Well, so you didn't have to put it out there so strongly, but yes, being a creative has a lot to do with your mind and soul dimensions. And so when these are not, wow, this session is for you, Oscar. So I think I'd love for both of them to come on board and speak a little bit more about how to get that balance, how to find that balance, how to build a career that is sustainable, you generate income and revenue from it while not, losing your mind in the process. And just a quick introduction: Wendy Daki is a Safe in Our World ambassador, which is an amazing organization that really advocates for good mental health and safe workspaces, especially in the creative economy and in the creative sector. And we have Lola Day joining us as well with her vast background and experience when it comes to psychology and wellness and mental health as well. So these are two amazing speakers who'd be on the panel, and I honestly can't wait to hear all the conversations that will be sparked. And if you're in the comments and you want to ask questions as well during the session, please go ahead. We will be popping those up for them to answer while they're speaking.
Definitely. Very important conversation, especially with the many things that has been happening in the world socio-economically. Right? In Nigeria, we have our own security problems and the likes. Of course, there are many problems out there as well.
It has
But
been
looking
getting
at
to everyone.
yeah,
It's been getting to everyone, every
yeah,
sector.
yeah. So let's not waste time. We already started late. Let's bring on board our speakers. Are they here? Are you here? If you're here, if you're here and you know, okay, let me stop that.
Guys,
Guys, we have Wendy and we have Lola Day. Yes, nice to have you here. Yeah. Oh, there's Lola Day, and I think Wendy.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. Okay, nice. You
Yeah.
guys are going to tell us how to, I'd like to say how to be welfare or something. This is a very
Yes.
important topic, and I guess we'll leave it to both of you to introduce yourself and share more about safe in our space and as well on the topic. So,
All right.
yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, for this session, Olade and I decided that we would start with a bit of a story, yes? So, and then from the story, come up with a few talking points, and then all of you in the audience, feel free to share your questions or what pops up, or rather, what is a takeaway from the conversation as we go, so that we can go through them after the talk. So the short story or just a snippet is imagine a young African creative who stays up late building their dreams. They're talented, passionate, and people praise their work online. But behind the scenes, they're overwhelmed, struggling financially, afraid to rest because survival is involved, and quietly wondering if they're falling behind in life. They scroll online, they scroll online and see everyone else launching projects, getting opportunities, traveling, posting achievements, and looking successful. Meanwhile, they're exhausted all the time, uncertain, and questioning their own pace and worth as creatives. So I feel like this story captures most of our experiences, even if it's just one tiny bit of the story. I feel like we've all experienced something in this small short story. So I think now we can head on to the questions. And the first question, I think, because even as you've heard in the stories, how emotional this is. So the first question I'd like to ask Lola there is why do you think creative industries carry such intense emotional pressure, especially for young African creatives? Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question. First, I think one of the biggest reason is because creative work is very, very personal. A lot of creatives are not just creating for fun, right? They are creating their work is connected to their identity, their dreams, and sometimes even their survival.
Yeah.
And for many African creatives, there is also financial pressure and societal pressure at the same time. So you are trying to build something meaningful, but
Mhm.
also you are thinking about stability, income,
Yes.
and family expectation, right? And
Mhm.
whenever you are progressing fast, whenever you are progressing fast, so you are thinking about all this, then social media adds another layer
Right.
because um, people constantly see other people achievements online, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it can start this feeling like you are behind even when you are actually growing. So I
Right.
think the emotional pressure comes from trying to like balance passion, ambition, visibility, and survival at the same time. Yeah, at once.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, and I totally agree because it stems from many other avenues, not just internally, like also you've mentioned family pressure and expectations also add on to that. Societal expectations now with social media everywhere, even WhatsApp, just a simple texting platform also comes with pressure because of,
Yeah.
all these opportunities. Our moms or dads or guardians keep on sending us, especially as creatives, telling you maybe you should apply for this for sustainability. Yet this is not something that you feel would fulfill you as a creative. I'm curious on how you see family expectations and societal pressures affecting us as creatives mentally, and maybe share a few tips on how to handle it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I believe in Africa, right? Family expectation are very real layer of pressure. We
Uh-huh.
are all Africans, so we can all relate with it. Because when you are passionate about what you are doing, there is
Mm-hmm.
that question of, but when will it start paying, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so you are not just building a creative career, you're also building a kind of silent presentation every day, like don't worry, it will make
Mhm.
sense soon, right? And
Right.
mentally it creates this feeling of needing to consistently justify your choice, like
Mm-hmm.
you're always trying to like prove that you are doing something, what you are doing is
Mm-hmm.
valid, right? And for many
Right.
African creatives, you are not just building a career, you are also like defending your career at the same time, right? And over
Mm-hmm.
time, that pressure can make people rush or feel guilty when they are not
Mm-hmm.
seeing fast results. But the truth is, creative paths don't always follow a straight timeline, right? Even
Right.
society expects them to be.
Right.
And in terms of balancing or reducing it, I don't think the pressure disappears completely. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. But a
Mm-hmm.
few things help, like let me say, knowing your own timeline and reminding
Right.
yourself that creative paths is not linear. They are not linear, right? And then communication. Sometimes when we understand family that when family members understand
Uh-huh.
what we're actually doing and the process behind it, the pressure becomes a bit more manageable.
Right.
Third one is
Mm-hmm.
boundaries. We need to like create boundaries, learning to like separate that external expectation from
Mm-hmm.
internal peace.
Right, right. Okay. No, I totally agree with most of these things you've suggested because I feel like also communicating and showing people's timelines. I feel like also showing someone's success story, but then not just the success bit, also the challenges they went through will humanize the story so that even our loved ones who care about us and are sharing opportunities outside the creative spaces will understand where we're still sticking to it, even when the journey is not as straightforward. You said it's not a straight timeline. I totally agree. It's not straightforward. So finances are not as easy to come through, and as a result it's a bit of a challenge, but the beauty of it is that we really enjoy what we're doing, so I think that helps. However, there's still the challenge of survival. When you go to a supermarket, you cannot take something and not pay for it. Yet sometimes within our spaces we find that people come and do not want to pay for our services, so we end up doing stuff for free. So
Yeah.
I'm curious on what you think happens mentally, especially to us, when someone's passion and survival start colliding, and maybe share a few tips on how to handle it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think when both collide, I think it creates a kind of internal tension
Mm-hmm.
because on one hand there is something you love doing, you are passionate about, and it feels meaningful to you, right? And on the other
Mm-hmm.
hand, it also ties to survival. So
Right.
it's not just like I enjoy this; it becomes
Mm-hmm.
I need to work for this financially.
Right.
And what happens and when that happens, right, rest become difficult. Because even
Mm-hmm.
when you want to pause, there is this pressure in your mind that is like you are failing behind, or you're falling behind, or you're missing opportunities when you are resting. And mentally, it can lead to exhaustion, self-doubt, and sometimes even losing the joy you originally had for work, because everything starts to feel urgent, right? And how to manage, like, or how to, like, try to like control this is, first is creating offline time where you are not consuming other people's work or progress, right? And defining what success means for you, not just what is trending online. Wendy, are you there? So can anyone hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes. Wendy disconnected, but she's back. Don't worry. She's with you 100%.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
defining what success means to you, not just like what is trending online, and then always celebrate small progress instead of waiting for big wins. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay. In your response, you also mentioned something that I feel is quite um, important to talk about because of the rate of burnouts we usually have, especially within the video games industry. I think also animation has the same challenge. Um, why do you think many creatives struggle with rest without guilt? And also how can we change the way we think so that we can start feeling more comfortable resting as creatives? Yeah.
Okay. So, one thing is
Right.
the main reason for the struggle is that expectation and demands are often higher, right, than the
Mhm.
actual
Mhm.
stability and income that comes from the work.
Right.
Even when creatives are tired and there is constant feeling that, oh, if I stop things, they, there's this constant feeling that if I stop, right, things
Mhm.
might fall apart, like I
Mhm.
might lose opportunities or fall behind. Also, in
Right.
many cases, the system doesn't really support creatives enough to feel
Mhm.
safe resting, right? And
Right.
there is not always there's no structure, right, stability or
Mhm.
consistent income. So rest starts to feel like a risk instead of something healthy to do.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I don't think there is a remedy to not feel guilt, rather than you telling
Mhm.
yourself that this is what I want to achieve, this is my goal, whatsoever
Mhm.
external expectation or what I'm seeing on social media, anything I'm seeing there won't affect what I've choose, this inner peace I've choose, these goals.
Mm.
Nothing is going to
Mhm.
rush me. This is the
Yeah.
step I've taken. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to take
Uh-huh.
the step. I'm not going to like rush myself, and then at the long run, when I become successful, I will now start using that money I've gotten to treat myself. Do you get?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. I think also another thing that I feel would really assist as well is also working on our financial literacy, because I feel like the guilt is linked to our finances, as you mentioned as well. Yeah, so if we can find a way to get other income streams that are outside maybe the digital creative spaces. I know someone mentioned he's running an Airbnb business. He might be watching us, and he's running a game studio as well. I am very keen on investments like government bonds that
Wendy, I think you're
give me
breaking.
consistent income. So even when I'm not getting income, you hear me clearly? Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, I thought you mentioned I was breaking.
Yes,
But
yes,
yeah,
you're
so
breaking.
all right, sorry. My internet today is a bit shaky. But yeah, so be able to find other ways of earning an income as well, especially when you're feeling like burnout is coming in. Also keen on the element of people as isolating themselves, because we hear within the video games or just creative spaces, sometimes people go into creative spaces
Um,
should I repeat myself?
yes, it was. Yeah, I think you were blank.
Okay. So within the creative space,
Okay.
yeah, we have this challenge where sometimes people just work in silos, and then someone is struggling, yet they're isolating themselves. I'm curious on what is usually happening mentally, and also how we can navigate that and improve, meet more people regularly. Yeah.
Okay. So I believe one of the biggest reason is that a lot of them feel like they have no one, nowhere to turn to at that
Mhm.
moment, because everyone, or at some point in time, we always have that big moment, that moment where we need someone to talk to, or somewhere
Mhm.
to just relieve ourselves.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not even that people are physically alone. They might
Yeah.
be surrounded with people, but emotionally they feel misunderstood. They don't have
Mhm.
to like talk to.
Right.
Um, they like, and they don't want to like. It's not as if they don't even um talk to people. They know how to talk to people, but then they don't know how to explain what they are going through, or they don't feel like others would really get what they are saying.
Right.
These cases is very very um, big, and there's also shame involved, like feeling like
Okay.
everyone else is doing fine, so why am I
Mhm.
struggling? That's
Right.
something that a lot of us struggle with. So instead of
Mhm.
like talking about it, they withdraw, they go quiet, they stop sharing, they pull back to
Right.
people and even from work.
Right.
And a lot of people, a lot of creatives don't really associate because they don't need help. Right? They isolate because they don't know how to ask, and um, it is a must for every one of us. If you're in creative industry and you're not in a creative industry, to have someone that listen to you without
Mhm.
being judged.
Right.
Even if the person do not have a solution for you, the person cannot provide
Mhm.
a solution for you, at least the person is listening to you, the person
Mhm.
understand your emotion, the person
Mhm.
can feel and express empathy, not sympathy right now,
Mhm.
and
Mhm. Mhm.
you can feel heard when you are talking, not like
Okay.
the person is looking at you and you're feeling like, oh, this person is judging me. So we need
Uh-huh.
that safe space
Right.
to overcome isolation, to overcome
Yeah.
being withdrawn, because everyone and at a particular time we always have that big moment that we need someone to listen to us, that community that listen without judging. So that
Mhm.
is like overcome isolation in creative
Oh,
industry.
okay. Totally agree with that. People
Hey,
can
indeed.
isolating themselves, and I really like the idea of community as well. And I'm keen on also how you see community as an important thing, especially community, close friendships, and these safe spaces. You've mentioned, how are they important, and what are we to look for when we're approaching getting safe spaces and communities to be part of?
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they are very, 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 very extremely important, honestly, because
Uh-huh.
creative is already emotional, demanding
Mhm.
on its own.
Mhm. Yeah.
And when someone is going through it alone, it's become even heavier. Having
True.
community or even just one person, one particular person, or
Yeah.
two safe people makes a big difference. And
Uh-huh.
people will understand your journey. It might be people
Mhm.
who understand your journey, people who don't judge your peace, and
Right.
people who can remind you that you are not behind in life. Because
Mhm.
sometimes when creatives needs what creative needs is not just advice, it's a reassurance that what they are experiencing is normal.
Mhm.
They are not the only
Mhm.
one that have been there before. And
Uh-huh.
I
So true.
think friendship and safe space help people stay grounded, especially
Mhm.
when social media is constantly making everything feels like a competition right now, like right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just need someone to like tell you, calm down, you are not late, right?
Yes,
You
yes.
are just building before your brain
Mhm.
starts writing unnecessarily resignation letter to yourself that "Oh, I'm done with this. Do you get?
Yeah, yeah, okay. Speaking of, yeah, our creative dreams do deserve sustainable lives, and also resigning from stuff also means you have to start afresh. So if there's a way you can find a way to release the what's the word? To release the challenges you're going through community so that you can actually brave through the challenges that you're going through. I think it's good. Yeah, and I'm curious on also sustainable ambition. How does that look for creatives, and what small habits can help protect mental well-being in the long term? So yeah.
Okay, I think and I believe sustainable ambition is really about learning how to build without losing yourself in the process.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
a lot of creatives are very ambitious, which is
Yeah,
good, right? But
yeah.
sometimes the way that ambition shows up is through pressure, overworking,
Mm-hmm,
constantly trying to like keep up, and
mm-hmm.
that becomes unhealthy over time.
So true.
And for me, looking sustainable ambitions looks like slowing down enough to actually breathe while you're
Mm-hmm,
building, right? And it
mm-hmm.
looks like understanding what your what is.
Yes.
Your what is not tied to how fast you are moving or how visible
Mm-hmm,
you are online.
mm-hmm.
And I would say small habits that can help things like is they're like I think one should be to to protect their well-being includes learning to take break before burnout, or
Right. Uh-huh.
you need to like learn how to take breaks before burnout,
Mm-hmm,
not
mm-hmm.
after the burnout, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also important to like set boundaries. I think I mentioned this one. You set
Right.
boundaries with
Yes, we did.
comparison. You don't have to like compare yourself with somebody else's achievements, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially on social media, it's something common now,
Mm-hmm.
because it can quietly affect how we see our own progress.
Mm-hmm.
Indirectly, it affects.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
having at least one or two people, right, you can talk to honestly, also
Mm-hmm.
is a big difference. So you
Mm-hmm.
cannot carry everything alone. This thing I always tell myself. I can't carry
Mm-hmm.
everything alone. I need someone to like talk to. And it
Right.
helps a lot. Not that they'll give me solution. I just want
Mm-hmm.
them to, like, I just want to pour my emotion out. If it's for me to cry while saying it, let me say it. Then afterwards, I'm done.
Yeah,
I move.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
relief. And reminding yourself that your piece is valid, because
Mm-hmm.
everyone is meant to move at the same speed, and your journey doesn't have to look like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you need to like tell yourself that this is valid. I need to like,
Your piece is valid. I
yes.
love that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I totally agree. Those boundaries, resting and also your piece is valid. I think that will be my major take home. Because yeah, at times we are just like crunching, 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 but you need to also enjoy the money eventually. Enjoy the lifestyle you create as a result of all this work. So you might as well find a balance so that you're able to be healthy to enjoy it in your later years. Yeah, so again, creative dreams deserve a sustainable life. So this is why we're talking and we'll continue to talk. And we thank you, Lola Day, for joining us and for sharing all these insights. Yeah, so I'd like to open the floor for questions. Feel free to share them via chat. I can read some of them, or you can, I don't know, Oscar or Faith can also guide us on how to approach that.
Yes, if you have questions, please drop them at Tikamula. That's a very interesting name. Says great insights. Yes,
Uh-huh.
great insight. I've learned a lot. I've learned so much. I've learned too much actually. I was just crying there when you guys were talking. Like, this is me. This is me. Yeah. So Atika
Yeah.
Mullah says, great insight. Thanks. We're glad to see you learn something. I didn't know what to expect from this session, but really, I felt like you were talking directly to me. And especially this year, it's been
Mhm.
really tough. And you shared so
Yeah.
much value. Thank you so much for that. Please
welcome.
drop your questions. Do you have any questions? Drop it in the comment section. We'll be able to read it off from there. I see Faith has joined us. Yes. But did you learn something from this session?
Yeah, it was a very great session, and when I think Lolade was speaking about community, getting to speak to someone and just to be heard, so the person can say, reassure you that you're not going crazy. And it just reminded
Mhm.
me of the importance of having good friends, because what you need to know where you're airing out. I'm like, yeah, I think that is the first thing to think about before you go airing out to people who are going to make your mental health worse, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that should be stressed. It's not just community; it's the right community.
People, yeah.
Yeah,
So true. So
this
true.
needs
Mhm.
to be safe enough for you to. And I think that is it across creativity generally, not just in this sector, but any sector. Creatives thrive on, similar energies. So it's really important to be in the right space with the right people that have the same mindset as you do yourself.
So true.
Definitely.
Mhm. Mhm.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
thank
Yeah.
you.
another super important thing Wendy mentioned was, financial literacy, because most
Sorry.
of the stress.
Oh,
I felt that one. If you want to talk to me directly.
Because I mean, 95% of your stressors are a bulk of your stressors are coming from financial
Yes.
pressures,
yeah.
True.
what's happening
Mhm.
across. Because if you didn't have to worry about money, I'm
Mm.
sure you'd be creating the sweetest art, doing the best.
Yeah.
That's
That
Yeah.
I think that is super important. Financial literacy is important,
Mm.
because there'll never be, there would be enough, but there'll never be enough. I mean, if you think
Mm.
about it.
True.
So financial literacy
Mm.
is really important, so
true.
that you have that stable state of mind. across all the different stages of your career.
True.
Yeah.
So true.
So
Yeah.
true. Straight up money. You get all those grammar, financial money is important so that you have
Yeah.
mental health. We have a question
Yeah.
from Sharon Okal, and he says, "What happens if you like to move too slow as compared to your competitors? How do you deal with that? Because it isn't operating in a bubble. There are people or companies, but because it isn't operating in a bubble, there are people or companies. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so you're in a fast moving environment and you're moving slow because you want to check out your mental health. Okay, I'm not judging. Yeah, who would love to take that? Lola there, Wendy?
When did you want to go? Oh,
Uh, yeah, I suppose I can go.
okay.
I feel like I think this goes back to our mentality, and this is where the financial literacy comes again, yeah, because there's this concept called scarcity mentality as well, where you feel, and I feel like this also is one of the reasons why we find it hard to rest as digital creatives, because we're scared that things are not going to work out. So there's that element of also learning to shift our mindsets. I actually just recently listened to this book called The Power of Positive Thinking by um, Vincent Norman Peale. I feel like this is something we should all listen to because it changes the way we think about things. And I feel like that is also one of the ways we will stop looking at people as competitors and more as collaborators, so that we're working together and slow down if you need to slow down, especially if you're feeling that. As Lola they mentioned, you need to to stop before the burnout happens, not after the burnout. To rest before the burnout, not after. So I feel like this is one of the things, working on our mindset so that we start allowing room for collaboration. I think, Oscar, you also mentioned the South African ecosystem and how the community works there and how people are willing to support the community. But when you go out of the community, there's still a bit of competition, but when you come back, there's collaboration. So maybe also that bit of balance between those two, I think, will help. But I feel like also working on our mindsets, I'm also on that journey, would really help with that slowing down and resting, and being okay with it and not feeling like you're guilty. Especially when also family come in and start judging, maybe asking, why are you always resting? You don't seem to be as driven as this other person, maybe in the family or something. Yeah, so I feel that would be my answer to this question.
Okay, so let me add.
All
I would
right.
say moving slowly is okay, right? It is something that you know it works for you or it is going to work for you, right? And then I would say that every one of us, we're not working or we're not operating in a bubble. So we're not supposed to like, we don't need to like compare that, oh, this person is
Mhm.
working fast. You don't even know what the person is going through behind scene, right? And then a lot of people are dealing with real time pressure, responsibility, different situation that we are not seeing. But then because you see that, oh, their achievement, their output is fine, you feel like they are fast, right? So you don't know, maybe they are walking slow, they're taking it slowly the way you too you want to do it. So I just believe that if you know it's going to work for you, go for it without affecting your mindset, without affecting your mental health. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree. It's a mindset thing. You see me right now, you are envying me if you know what I'm going through. Yeah, and I think that completely answers the next question. So we won't really take it. That's from Jeremiah Uluwagbenga, which says, "How do you keep focus when surrounded with people who keep comparing you to others?" That has been answered. I think the two answers explicitly address that. Know thyself, right, and go beyond the scarcity mindset. I know I watched a video earlier this week where they said in Africa we mostly don't plan because opportunities come and disappear. Right? And that's
Yeah.
why a lot of us are always in this movement to get opportunities here, there, and all. But you
Yeah.
have to go beyond that. You have to also know that social media is really not real life, guys. It's not.
Not.
It's not real life. So you might it might seem someone is ahead of you, but you are faring way better in other areas and even maybe the same areas. And the reality also is there's always a trade-off. I think we need to also always come to the realization that there would always be a trade-off. If you want to go the extra mile, something would suffer. The key role
Right.
that differentiates you as an individual is being able to balance it. Like me, I'm sad. If I'm sad in the morning, I make sure I'm laughing in the night. Balance. Yeah. If not,
Yeah,
I go crazy.
but I love that you mentioned trade-offs, Oscar. Before you started being happy in the morning, so it's nice. But I love that you mentioned trade-offs because, like the initial question was, what happens if you move too slow as compared to others? It depends on your priorities at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Because if you want to grow in your career, you want to climb the corporate ladder, and you know that you're moving too slowly, you might have to switch it up and move faster if that is your priority. But if it's not your
Mhm.
priority, you just want a safe space mentally, you want to have time with family and friends, that is completely fine.
So
Everyone is
true.
different. Everyone has different values. Everyone has different things that are most important to them. So I think that is
Mhm.
where you start weighing it. Okay, should I be faster? Should I change my approach? Should I change my perspective? Should I, speed it up,
Yeah.
or should I calm down and go the way I'm going? It depends on your priorities at the end of the day. So yeah, values, the
Yeah.
trade-off, and all of that.
Sorry. As
Yeah.
you're talking, I was just laughing. I was like, you're calm, mentally okay and broke, or you're running crazy and rich. But I'm kidding. There can be balance in between both. But yeah.
Yeah.
There is that. Some people don't mind being broke and happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Laughing in a hut. Some people say, "Oh, you're crying in a Ferrari." Some people want to laugh in their mud hut. People are okay
Yes.
with that, and that is completely fine. That
Yes.
is that is
Mhm.
fine.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're really out of time. Thank you very much, Wendy and Lola, for
Thank
You're
you.
joining us.
welcome.
As we
Um,
mentioned, Wendy is an ambassador for the State in Our Wall organization. I've dropped the link to that in the comment section so you can go find out more about that. If you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to her at Wendy Daki. She's active on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok,
Yeah.
everywhere. So feel free to follow up with her. And then Lola Day as well, you can catch her. I know she's on LinkedIn. I'm not sure she uses her Instagram for work, but Lola Day, Arogodade on LinkedIn, you can follow up with her to also learn more on if you want to move this conversation forward. So thank you, Lola Day. Thank you, Wendy. Really,
Welcome.
really, this was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so before I move you off, do you want to say anything or you're good? Like any last words or you're good for the creatives? Yeah.
I think I'd just like to reiterate what Faith said and Lola did as well, that we all need to work on our why. We need to find out the reason why we do things so that everything we do is linked to that purpose, like that vision we have of our lives. And I feel like that will really help with even working on our mindsets and being able to build a sustainable career and sustainable lives as well. Yeah, I think that would be my parting shot. That would be
Wow. Thank
my
you. Know your why. Why are you suffering? Why are you here? Why are you a creative? Do you want to be rich or you want to express yourself or you want to be both? Really, it's personal. Yes, Lolade, any
I,
parting words from you?
yes, I will just drop this sentence is that allowing yourself to rest without needing to earn it. Like most people just be like, oh, I have to earn this rest. No, you have to rest without earning it. It's a must. It's something that would reset your mindset, reset your why you are being there at the first place. Yeah.
mm, yes, yes.
Thank you very much for that. Yes. Jerry had corrected, he had clarified on his question, but I think it also basically flows through the answers. He clarified that his question meant, what do you do when you feel like you are moving slow? I don't know how I read the last one. Was it me? I'm not sure. If you feel like, yeah. So when you feel like you are moving slow compared to others and you might be overtaken, and I think the answers also still work. Just it's really personal. It's up to you to know. And yeah. So thank you, Lalade. Thank you, Wendy. Have a good evening. Yeah.
You too.
Yeah. Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was interesting. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect on that one, but I would say it turned out very, very well. They were just talking to me. It felt somehow though at some point, like, guys, relax, relax.
I think that these are some conversations that we feel that are overflowed, but they really aren't, because
Yeah,
it's really in our minds for the most part. I, we're not
speak
half
for
so half body, but we are. Exactly. Let me speak for myself. But
yeah.
we live in our minds as much as we live in our physical bodies. So our minds are as important. So,
Mm,
having
deep.
that space mentally is really important. So it's not something that is overflow. It's something that should be said. It's a discussion that should be had, especially in this sector we're in.
Nice. Okay, so we are 1 hour into the stream, which is really exciting. That session went way more than we'd expected. But we'll not need to move quickly because we wanted this to be a 2 hour stream, sticking to time. And we have some amazing speakers who are already waiting to interact with us to share what they are doing with us. So, yes, we do have some, we'll also be doing some showcase just in case you've forgotten or you don't know what we are doing here. Today is Africa Day. And we're having the Africa Day live stream. I see I used the Africa Day commemoration on the design. I remember someone, I don't know who, I don't know who was like, commemoration feels deep. And I was like, yes. After that person came to us on TikTok, I was like, why are you celebrating Africa Day? I was like, you know what? Commemoration of Africa Day, where we
Because commemoration feels like we're going back to the deep, dark eras, and it's something we want to put past and move ahead.
yeah, but we're definitely not going to the past. We're looking forward and forging forward, and we're celebrating the industry, and also we're using this opportunity to also talk about the map campaign. So if you're just joining us, let me put that video up once more so you see what that's about. It's talking about Africa's actual size, and there's a campaign ongoing for us to use the actual projection of Africa. So that's coming up right now on your screen.
Everything you think you know about our world is a distortion of reality. Yep, we're still using a 16th century map projection that intentionally minimizes Africa's true size. Look at these two land masses. On most world maps, they appear almost equal. The truth? Africa is 14 times larger than Greenland. Africa isn't just big, it's a giant. It's the size of the United States, China, India, Japan, Mexico, and most of Europe combined. This isn't just about size, it's about power and perception. It's about a false sense of superiority over the global south, and this needs to change. The solution? The Equal Earth Projection, a map that shows our world as it truly is. We need your help to make it the global standard. Join the movement. Let's correct the map together. Sign the petition today.
Yes. So I've dropped the link earlier. I can do that once more. But just all you just have to do really is just to learn more about that, to use the right size of the map, just go to correctthemap.org. You get every information you need regarding the map, and regarding the campaign and everything you need to know about the correct size of Africa. So, for our next session, moving on real quick, we're going to be talking with Wema Odimasi, who is the founder of Ruby Interactive. And we'll be speaking about Roblox. Yes, I recently met him when I was in Kenya for the Games and SDG Summit, and it was exciting to see there's this community of developers on the continent building with Roblox. Does he have like a profile you want to read, Fed? Is there something like that? Yeah, or we just bring him in so that he can introduce himself.
Well, there's definitely a profile, but he's right here, and would love to hear him speak, and
Nice.
about his
So
experience and what we're looking at.
let's pull him on board, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Wema. Yeah. So this will be a conversation between me and him. So yeah, fit. We'll catch you in the next session. Ciao.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. A pleasure to see you again, Wema. A pleasure to meet you. A pleasure to interact with you, though virtually. Please, can you introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, so my name is Wema, and I'm the creative director and founder at Robbie Interactive. And what we do is mostly training people on how to work with the Roblox game engine, and also doing commissions for other studios and other individuals around the world. And what we have basically established over the last, I'd say, 6 months is more of a pipeline or a pathway whereby developers who are already well versed on other platforms can come to us, and then we offer them training and they get to learn how to use the Roblox platform in order to develop games and also earn from their talents, and also learn more about multiplayer and social experiences. And yeah, that's what I've been up to for the last six
Wow.
six months. Yeah.
Nice. So when you were speaking, all I heard was we do trainings and money, 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 money. And I was like, interesting. Like that's literally what I was just writing, like money, money, money. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your journey into Roblox. There's been a lot of buzz about Roblox lately, especially on the continent. I do know teenagers, they explore and play on this engine just like Minecraft and the like. But it was very interesting for me to find out that in Africa, there are actually people who are making money from this stuff. And for me, once I hear money, like these guys go up like, what? Once I hear money, I'm sold because we are really here to see how we can empower. We can use the games industry to empower the youth to become not just consumers but creators. And traditionally, parents once they hear game, they're like, "Hey, yeah, we are wasting your time again. You are mashing up your brain, becoming dull, playing your life away." But you have been able to create something sustainable for yourself, like a career pathway that you earn revenue from through this engine. So tell us about your story getting into Roblox.
Yeah, so I first started with Roblox development in around 2021. Before that, I was more of a player. So I've been playing Roblox since I was like, let's say, 8 years old. I've been playing it for years. Yeah, so kind of grew up as a part of the platform with all my friends and everything. It was really popular in Nairobi at the time growing up, especially in middle school between 2018 and 2023. And I think it's still popular today. And yeah, that's mostly what I turned my hobby into sort of a job. So when I first started out, the issue was that there are a lot of people within the space, within the creator economy, meaning that there's a lot of competition, and um, you don't really have a space if you're not as experienced or not as talented, or you don't really stand out. So something I realized early on was that my first few games were going to fail, and that was something I was prepared to accept. So they were all going to be projects and just experiences whereby I play around with code and learn how to animate and things like that. So the beauty of the platform is that you are sort of forced into learning all the different disciplines of game development. So in my case, I had to learn animation, I had to learn 3D design, scripting, UI design, UX, and all of those things. And the reason is because Roblox is more of a organic game market in the sense that essentially corporations making all of the games. I know at the top it's the corporations, but sort of within the middle and the bottom, it's just the individuals and the indies and just small groups and small teams, people and their friends that are really making the games on the platform and making it what it is today. Yeah, so um, that's part of something that I realized early on was I would need to work within these small communities rather like to work and try and compete with my individuals rather than trying to compete with entire studios. Yeah. So at first I started by doing commissions for developers that I met through Discord and
At
in
what
the early
age were you making this? At what age were you doing this? Because I'm seeing in the comments, someone is like 8. I think Munga did a calculation on your age or something. I don't know. But yeah, do you want to give us, don't give us the exact date, but just give us like, idea around this. Because that's one thing that really made it exciting for me.
yeah, so when I first started earning from game development, it was in a when I was around 14, so I would say that's in 2021. Yeah. So that's the age when I started earning, and I would like to say that I got really lucky in the sense that I wasn't good at what I did at the time, but
Don't
then
play
I
yourself
happened.
down. No,
No,
no, we put ourselves down.
no, it was in the sense that like I had a friend who used to play games with me, and he wanted to make his own game on
Yeah.
Roblox. And the beauty of Roblox is that that's very accessible. You know, you can make your own game with a very low budget,
Hmm.
or yeah, like you don't need a big team or a big marketing organization. You can just wake up today and say, "I'm going to work for the next 2 months and make a game." So
Yeah.
what he did was he had a side job. He lives in the United States, so when you're younger, it's easy for you to get employment. And he's about 2 years older than me, so he had a job. And then he was able to basically pay me to work on his project. And it
Nice.
was a game goal. It was a game called Modern Heights, and yeah, that was my first ever game. And that's sort of where my journey sparked, and I started to look towards now the commission market. And yeah, so what I really started to move towards was instead of making my own games, I didn't have the time to make entire games from the ground up. I focused on doing commissions whereby I would help individuals and small studios build upon their own games. So they would come to me to help them out making an update or help them out adding new systems, adding new features, bug fixes, or even just to build their game from the ground up. They would help me. And since I have no emotional connection to the project, it's easier to focus on it because it's not
Are you
draining
are
me.
you trying to shade us? The way you said that, since you have no emotional connection, what do you mean?
Now I'm just saying it's easier to it's easier to finish something when there's no emotional connection to it because you're not really being you're just trying to do it as prescribed.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're doing it as prescribed. You're not really looking at every single nitty gritty detail. You have a formula that you're following. You're just doing it. Yeah.
nice,
So
nice.
I found it easier to work on projects that didn't really require as much because, especially in my experience, I wanted to make a popular game now. I want to make a popular game today, but I didn't have the resources or the budget. Even if it's Roblox, if you want your game to be at the top level of, at the top percentile, you still have to put in a significant amount of investment and effort before it even gets past the 50% barrier.
Yeah,
So that was something I didn't have the time and the commitment for because I was in high school. So of course, I wasn't able to wake up every day and then dedicate time towards making a game when I also have homework to do or an
true.
exam to study for. And yeah,
True. I really, really, I think what I'm learning so much from you. I mean, you might be young, but there's so much value you're giving here that is really eye opening. I think Atikamula says very eye opening to make profit. Sometimes you may have to detach the emotional aspect of your craft to move forwards. And yes, that is true. She says, he says, or he or she, I'm not sure, says great lesson on practicality. And Jerome also says this is really, really down to earth advice. From the conversation we're having, I'm hearing so many things I'm learning, right? I'm hearing you talk about the value of communities because you joined these communities to learn, right? There was no institutional place you went to. You just went in to have fun and you were learning. And it's true that, communication with your community members, you got this gig through a friend, obviously. And
Yeah,
then instead of building your own game, which is something that in the games industry, a lot of people struggle with, you are taking a practical advice that it's normally, very elderly experienced people that take it, where they're more like, you know what, you need to ensure that you're sustainable and balanced first before you jump into your IP. And that is really, really amazing. To be very candid, that is really cool. So
yeah.
we please, if you have questions, Atika Mula says it's a E. Nice to meet you. If you have questions for Wema, please drop it in the comment section. We're going to take it. We want to move the sessions quickly, so please, if you have questions, let us know. So Wema, I do have. Let's continue our conversation quickly. I know our next speaker is here. Mikhail is here, so I'm really excited for that session as well. So let's move on quickly and let's see. Is Roblox still a thing? And is it something you would want people to jump in right now? Because I've had Roblox for, I don't know, but a long time. I'm not going to put a timeline to it. And you yourself, you joined when you were young. So
Yeah.
is it saturated for Africans already? Or there are still opportunities?
Yeah. So, I was really prepared and I really wanted to hear these questions from you today. Yeah, and it's I think it might be the best possible thing for young game developers or young aspiring software engineers to start with and to build a foundation with in order to earn from their creative talents. And I do know it's still a thing. I believe that last year Roblox had about 150 million daily active users. So I know they're a massive platform. There's a lot of untapped potential, and there is definitely uh, a gap of African talent on the platform. We have had South African studios attempting and building great things. I know I've seen a game called Msanzi Style, or I think I've butchered that word, but yes, it was a very wonderful car game on Roblox about the South African car culture, and yeah, so like I know I've seen South African studios there, but I feel like the impact needs to extend to the wider African continent. And the beauty of the creator economy is that it allows you to put yourself somewhat on the same playing field as someone else in a more developed nation, in the sense that you're able to compete with someone who is a commission developer in the United States, uh, because you are able to charge a lower price, obviously because of economic power, and at the same time, you also have almost the same, or rather, access to the same level of coding resources, because all of them are online. All of them are on your laptop. I learned online for free on YouTube from a YouTuber named Alvin Blocks. So yeah, I really believe that for people looking to break into game development and build a foundation within the field in Africa, they should start with Roblox because it allows them to lower the upfront costs. And yeah, and in my experience as well, it's worked wonderfully for us. We recently partnered with Gamer Africa. I believe I'm not sure if you know them, but
Of course we
yeah,
do.
oh yeah, they're based in Nigeria. And what we did was we did a Pan African Roblox game development pathway, whereby game devs from all around Africa, I think there were about 18 registered students around there, probably 18, and from all around Africa, they come together and then we train them on how to apply their skills within Roblox Studio. And I taught them how to script, I taught them how to do basic world building, and my associate from my own studio taught them how to do UI design. And so what that showed us was that there is potential, and that like the talent is there. The talent is within the continent, because uh, I'll give an example. There's a developer I started working with. Um, I'm not going to say his name, but he was mostly working on Unreal Engine. And on Unreal Engine, obviously, the floor, the ceiling is way higher than Roblox, and also the bar for entry as a developer on Unreal Engine is way higher than on Roblox. And as an African, we don't have the resources, we don't have the access to those powerful computers, all those things. And still, he was able to apply his talents from world building in Blender and on Unreal Engine into Roblox Studio, and he's already been profitable. I'd say it's been his first month, and he's already made, I think, about 60,000 shillings, which is quite good for him. So
Wow.
yeah, so I would recommend it as a pathway for game developers based in Africa that are looking to sort of have a foundation within the field while being able to earn something from their talents. Because learning without getting anything back can be a big burnout. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that really, really amazing insight shared there. And I think that already answers your question. Real RK22. Wema, what advice would you give to an aspiring game developer in Africa? I believe he has answered that already. So we're going to quickly go through the questions. If you want to continue the conversation with him, you can catch him on LinkedIn. I'll drop his LinkedIn URL in the comments. So you can just go there, find him, drop a message for him, and interact with him from there. So we'll just take a couple of questions because we are late on time, and then we'll move very quickly. So, yeah, I'll take this one. I'll take just three questions. So, Wema, we are right on the time. Take it very quickly. What vision do you have for the company you created? That's what's the name of your company? That's Ruby
Yeah.
Interactive, right?
Yeah. So at Team Robbie, our vision is to sort of develop a proper pipeline of talent that helps to introduce people who are already talented in basic coding, software design, graphic design, basic 3D modeling, painting, sculpting, any of those e skills. And our goal is to basically establish a pipeline of talent whereby people with those e skills are taken through special training and dedicated training within the Roblox engine platform, and then they're introduced into game development as a whole and told how games make money and game economics. And what that's going to do for us is it's going to establish a bigger talent pool and help us sort of route more ideas into the studio, because as a studio ourselves we also want to work on our own games. So we have our own project in the works right now. It's called Fight for Nairobi 2, and I was going to start sharing some more sneak peeks on that within the next few months. So for now, there's still nothing to view. And so for projects like these, we really need access to some of the best talent and the best people that are available to us. And so for our studio, what we envision is a pipeline of talent of game developers in which they're introduced into game development and taught how to earn in the field. And alongside that, we want to become a successful African game development studio that publishes games and exports games from Africa to the global market. Because uh, while Africa's gaming market is not um, I would say at the same level as the rest of the developed world, it's still very lively and very active in the sense that Africans love social games
Yeah,
and competitive games. Games
yeah.
like Pests, COD. Those are some of the most played games on our phones in Africa. And so, what we want to do as Robbie Interactive Studios is to be a studio that establishes African titles within Africa and exports them to global audiences the same way that we're having games from Japan or Poland from CD Projekt Red or any other studio being exported to us. I feel like we also have the talent and the culture that we can export our own games and our own culture to other countries through gaming. Yeah.
Wow, this is a masterpiece. Awesome. Nice, nice. And you're making work easy for me because I see a lot of people have asked about culture. I know Joshua did ask about culture. How can one's cultural background or African or local African narrative? And you've touched on that. We can use our culture for storytelling. We can use our culture to bring something diverse into the ecosystem. So the last question I'd give to you, I'm trying to work with time. And guys, I've dropped his LinkedIn. I see that. I don't know. You guys, this is not a press conference. Enough with the questions. It's blowing up. The chat, the comment section is blowing up. Connect with him online and also follow Ruby Interactive Studios. Your studio is looking to start working on his own original IP, and I think it's something really good for us to follow him, support him, share his work, and you can continue the conversation there. Remember, community, everything is not going to happen here. Yeah, and thanks for being on the show, Wema. I'm really enjoying myself. So the next
Yeah.
question I want to ask you is that buzzword that is making me feel like I'm an ong and I'm already old right now. Because every day I wake up, there's one new AI tool or the other, right? And they
Yeah.
are not relaxing.
Yeah.
And Jaron asked that question. He says, what do you think about using AI for programming and building the games? Do you think it's a good or bad thing to vibe code? As someone that you did not go to Unity or Real Engine, my
Yeah.
generation, if you are not using Unity or Real Engine, there's war. It's a
Yeah.
battle. In fact, we'll tell you, oh, Real Engine, you're not serious. Godot, you're not serious. But you went to
Yes.
Roblox, you are earning an income, you are making impact, and you're empowering people. So now he's asking about AI. What's your take on this?
Yeah. So I'm actually a big advocate for using AI, especially in programming and developing software, but not for the reasons you think. I'd say AI can really take away from the creativity of the process and can take away from the heart that it takes to make video games. So I think it's only good as an enhancer and something that sort of boosts efficiency. So I'd say in my case, the only thing that I personally use AI for would be to speed up tasks that I already know that I can do, because AI can make a lot of mistakes. So, as part of his question, is asking if it's a good thing to vibe code. I don't advocate for vibe coding. I think you should learn and have extensive knowledge about the coding language that you were using before you start to use AI with it, because you'll notice that you're only powerful with the AI when you actually know how to code in that language fluently already. Yeah. And another thing that I would advocate for using, rather, okay, not really advocate, but I don't think it's wrong to use AI in UI and UX design, in the sense that not every single game needs heartfelt UIs. Some games are just social experiences, that are
Yeah,
just made to replicate another title, or this one like this. And I think if the UI works, it's good. And actually, I even have the UI design at my studio on the side. Let me tell you.
nice.
Yeah, him.
Hi guys.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
So
So
does he use AI?
Mm,
just say, yeah. Say,
Yeah.
introduce yourself.
So I'm Jaden, and I do the UI UX portion of our studio. And I think AI has really helped with the work that we're trying to do here. So I think we can go more into that. But like
Yeah,
the AI, it like lessens the workload for the things that you need to get done. Not
Yeah,
everything needs you to be there fully all the time. Like it helps with some ideas that I need to come up with, and just generating like creative ideas and things like that.
yeah.
So yeah.
So I'd say, especially in the example of the creator economy, whereby you have game developers are also doing the commissions. People who run the games are doing the commissions. Everyone's a creator,
yeah,
and you have some people want to design, or rather want you to produce this certain system this way, but you don't really have an idea of what they're trying to describe to you. They're giving a very vague description. You can always use AI for ideas and, um, let's say, inspiration, because the reason, or the reason it exists is, all it really does is filter out data and information that is already available in the cloud, and then put it for you and digest it for you, and then um, blurt it out, and hopefully not hallucinate wherever it's studied. And
yeah,
so what that does is, at least you have access to a lot of data and a lot of other information on how other UIs are made, so you can really get quick inspiration and ideas for what you want to make. Yeah.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. This
Yeah.
was
Plus,
really,
one other thing,
yeah,
um, it's a bit sad to say. I know a lot of people in the creative industry don't like the use of AI, but the sad fact is that it is here and it is here to stay, and there's nothing that we can do to undo it. And it's just going to be there. If you don't use it, someone else will. So you have to just you have to use it in the best way you can. Yeah.
okay, I was liking you, then you just came and you're just like you just killed us. Like whether we like it or not, there's nothing we can do. But that is definitely true. And there's this interview for anyone watching. There's this interview that came out 7 days ago. It was an interview with the founder of Take Two Interactive. I'll drop that in the link as well. he had a very powerful word to say about AI and what they do at Take Interactive and how they approach artificial intelligence and everything changing in this world. I'd say you go check it out for yourself. Wema, thank you so much. Really, so much. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. So, any last words for everybody out there? There are many questions. So, if you go off the stream, please, you can also, you can respond in the comments to all the questions that are there once you go off the stream. But any last words for all the creatives, everybody watching you, everybody? Yep.
Uh, I just like to tell everyone to, yeah, just go create. Don't procrastinate. Go create. Yeah.
Don't procrastinate. Go create. Thank
Yeah.
you very much. That's a good one. I've stolen it from you already. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Wow. Woo. The conversations I had today was not what I planned. I came in saying I'm going to do Africa commemoration, dance Africa dance, play African music. But I say fate is here. Yeah, it's really been amazing, I must say. Very, very strong, solid conversations. You were able to listen in on that, right? We can't hear you. You're muted. You have to do this muted thing. Now you're growing old. And I thought I was the old one, yeah.
I know. That was just a simple oversight.
It's old
but
people that are like, Can you see me? Can you see me?"
I mean, yeah, I got to listen to, the later part of the conversation, and I love the questions from the comments and everyone coming in to ask this question. And obviously, like Oscar said, you could definitely connect with him on LinkedIn and his company page as well, and reach out to connect. This is why these platforms are here, so you can connect with creators like this. And yeah, the conversations are amazing. As a self starter, it's good to see these success stories, and it
Yeah.
inspires everyone else who's trying to pave their own path in the sector to, I mean, who would have thought of Roblox? I mean, but someone is, doing something so amazing and with such great potential for future growth and sustainability as well. So that is awesome.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So we are way. In fact, our speaker right now, if he asked me to kneel down, raise my hand up, I would have stopped because we are way late. We've kept him waiting, and he has been watching it, and I don't know how to say sorry. But yeah, so we'd have to move into the next session quickly. But thank you to everyone who is watching us live. You should definitely listen into this next one. This is really, really a super packed session for you. You get to learn more about opportunities for you to see how to, if you're looking to get into the industry, promote the game, promote your project, this one is definitely for you. But before I jump right in, we're just going to take a break. And there's this new project that came out from, I believe, Clockwork Acorn in South Africa. The trailer just came out recently. I mean, we're in the games industry. Let's show what the African games industry is all about.
We can't hear you, Oscar. You're
Oh,
muted.
I know,
I
I
love that
know.
this I love that this happened right now. After you finish shouting how old I am. I love that it happens to you.
I was just trying to balance this out for you. Come on,
No, you
come
weren't.
on,
No, you
come on.
weren't.
So either way,
Stop
guys,
it.
that is the African video games industry. Don't mind Faith; it's a conspiracy. I was just trying to make everything feel balanced, so that she doesn't feel bad. Yeah, that is Feather's Edge by Clockwork Acorn based in South Africa. And I'm sure all of you have heard about the Outer Slot Fund. Yep. The fund for indie game developers across the world. They did get that fund. This project is sponsored by that. You can check that out. So we're moving in directly into the next session. I've spent so much time already, and I believe this is going to be our last session in terms of external session with everyone. After that, we just get to speak with you as well as show you some amazing stuff, bring you up to speed on what's happening. As you know, for us at Africa Communicate this year, we've been very much behind the scenes. We normally start public activities in April, but it's been a very exciting, interesting, stressful year. But we are pushing, and there's a lot happening on the back end, which we're excited to share with you. Not just what's happening on our end, also on the global industry, right? Opportunities for you and all. And before I move in, I'll be kicking Faith once more. I'm going to take 1 minute once more to just show you if you are in Nigeria or even if you're anywhere, the next games event is happening. We'll do that after the session. Don't let me waste any of my sire's good time. Yeah, Faith was already judging me. I could feel the anger, like you've wasted his time. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's call on board. Now I'm going to, I don't know how to pronounce it. And I hate it when people mispronounce my name. So I don't know if it's Michael or Mikhail. And he has told me a couple of times. So please forgive me. Let's welcome him on stage. Yes, please.
Hello everyone. You can say Michael or Michael. It's
No, I
it's all
want
right.
the original one. Is it
Yeah.
Mikhail?
In France, we say Michael,
Mikhail.
and everywhere else, people say Michael. So
No,
let's go
no,
for Mike. Let's go for
no,
Mike.
no, 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 no. I go with Mikhail.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, names are very important, and it's a beautiful name. I like it. For me personally, for example, my name is Michael, but it's AEL. So when people spell it EAL, they don't get to see it, but there's a vein that comes up in my head. Like I'm very,
It's
very
the same for me.
yeah. Yes. So good evening. Is it evening on your end?
Yeah, on the end of the afternoon.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. It's 6:30 in France.
Yes, nice. So, when we were coming up with this, we thought of reaching out to you because you and Jennifer are coming up with, a solution for the African video games industry, a solution that is much needed. In the past, a lot of stakeholders that have come in from outside the continent have been focused on the production side and the funding side as well. But the reality is, a lot of the indie developers also need help with marketing. Who is going to play this game afterward? Who is going to run the PR, the user acquisition, and all this stuff? And that is what you and Jennifer are seeking to do with Narratify Agency. So please,
Absolutely.
for everyone who is new, who is just getting to meet you, please introduce yourself and let us know what you're looking to do.
Yeah, hello everyone. I am Michael Newton, and I am an alumni from Ubisoft. I used to work at Ubisoft for 12 years until last December, and I worked in different departments at Ubisoft. But the main ones are around the editorial department, the one that validates all the games at Ubisoft, and also working with all the different studios within Ubisoft to say how to properly create open worlds, basically, and arena shooters, games like that. And also during 6 years, sorry, I used to work on the social impact department. To say the idea is to work with NGOs, associations, and to see how to properly share good values into games. For example, to have charities, to do some to sensitize players about all the different topics that are important in the world, and and also educational stuff. And that's why with Narratify, the idea is to it's the continuity of that. I used to work with big companies, and right now I want to focus on my roots. The idea is to come back to Africa. I am from the French West Indies, basically the Caribbean island. And my associate Jennifer is from Benin and Togo. So we want to contribute to the video game landscape in Africa, and also for the Western or Eastern companies to have a proper way to work with African game creators, but also within their games to depict concretely characters that are authentic. The main word that we have at Narratify is authenticity. So how to reveal that? So we have a bunch of events. We are creating a bunch of workshop master classes to sensitize the Western creators about what is important in terms of authenticity, working with you guys, with specialists, with experts that know the ground. And for companies from Africa, the idea is, as you just said, reveal and give visibility to the studios that have super cool projects. So that's why we have this event named. We just announced it. The final date of this event it's the Afro Game Showcase. It's a bunch of trailers basically that we will introduce, Jennifer and I, in French and in English, to have a dozen of games that are super cool and efficient in terms of gameplay, but also conveying all the culture from Africa is bringing into to the global scene. So yeah, this is Narratify basically. We
Yeah.
cannot.
No, I can hear you. Yeah. Yeah. So I was trying to still a snapshot of what we have from Narratify, um, just so that people can actually see what you're planning to do, which in my opinion, is really, really exciting. I know you did something with Reluted in France. Um,
Absolutely.
yes, and that's really super. So for everyone who is out there, there was a call. There was a call earlier there was a call for application earlier in the year for everyone to apply to the African Game Showcase. And from that application, I believe, the games are going to be showcased. A couple of games are going to be showcased on June 25th. I'm uploading it here. I didn't want to share my Instagram screen, but I'm going to share it. I'm also going to share the link to everyone. So,
Mhm.
looking at what you're doing for Africans now, you already actually have a case study. So, do you want to walk us through that, which is what you did with Related? And
Yeah.
especially as in the past, when most people are thinking of, promoting their games, we're always looking at the US market for events. We're always looking at Germany, looking at Gamescom. But now you did something in France, and there is an active gaming community there. So, can you tell us about what you did with Related?
Yeah, sure. We knew the studio from the previous event in South Africa, the Africa Games Week. I met Ben, the CEO of the studio, and he's just shared this project with Reluted of having this game with characters that just bring back the artifacts from Europe or Western countries towards Africa. And we just thought with Jennifer that we want to work with them to strengthen all that we can bring in terms of marketing, because Jennifer is working in communication. She has her own association dedicated to African women, whatever the country. And she used to work at Ubisoft also on communication stuff. So with Reluted, Narratify is a pretty new company, right? It's
Yeah.
just we just launched the company at the beginning of this year, and the game was finished, if I may say. And with Ben, we just decided that we want to galvanize the marketing stuff. So we work on the press relation, especially in France, because we have an entity in France named La Maison des Mondes Africains. It's basically the house of African worlds, where there is a lot of things about culture concerning Africa for the people from Paris, but also all the people that are in France and want to know more about Africa. And so we have created this event dedicated to the game with master classes, with a moment of play session basically for everyone, for families, kids and parents, and also those moments of master classes with the narrative director, Mohale Mashigo. Her and Ben came to France to discuss with all the people that are interested in knowing more about the hidden side of the game, how it was built, what is the main topic of this game, but also do the proper link with the reality. Because in France, for example, we have this law dedicated to bring back the artifact, a real law about that. But it's not like something validated properly at this moment. And with this event, the idea was to yeah, make people think about what we can do through the video games to emphasize on this idea of accelerating all the law and things like that. So it was political, but also gaming and a press relation event. And it was super cool because we had like 150 people just trying the game, discussing about the game. We had a woman that with cosplayed in Nomali, and it was a super cool event for that. So we are willing to do other events like that. For example, with Reluted, we will have another moment next week with libraries to just introduce the games to parents and children again, and we will go in different areas like that to introduce this important thing that is the work with the museums in the and collaboration with Africa, basically.
Wow, that is super. That is really, really super exciting. For those who don't know related, I guess what can we do? By the way, I've dropped the comment. I've dropped the Mansa, the link to Mansa in the comment section, so you can actually check that out. If you do have questions, please drop them. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to hearing your questions. And no worries, if you've not heard of related, I got you. Let's take a minute to see what that looks like.
What is fun about an abandoned warehouse, Trev?
That's right, you got nothing to prove, sis. No matter what they say.
Okay. What's this all about?
Treaties were signed, promises made and broken. Is it stealing to take back what was stolen?
Stolen? Who's stealing them?
Us? It's time to get out of there.
Let me introduce a friend of mine. Smart, agile, and will let you look into places with the tightest security.
I could probably bench press every one of you.
The locksmith strikes again. Hold on.
Listen, are you having second thoughts?
Nope. Just hoping you won't get me killed.
Yeah.
I know what you and your little crew are doing.
Nobody threatens my family or my friends and gets away with it. So we are going to do whatever it takes to take back Africa's belongings, and we're going to do it together.
Yes, we are back. That was really exciting. I was trying to do something while that was playing. I guess it wasn't an issue there. It was just me. One of my favorite, outcomes from Reloaded is the OST files, like the original soundtrack. So I'm going to share that as well. You can check that. I've been listening to it. There was the time we posted it on Africa Comicade. I'll share it with you as well. And if you haven't already, you can wishlist it. You can, purchase it as well on Steam. I've dropped that link as well in the comment section. Don't forget, if you have questions, please ask those ad questions. Now, my job here is to ask the questions people are always scared of asking, Mikhail. So so the big thing here right now is when we look at, I understand the need to, showcase what is happening on the continent, and looking at the French market, that is a unique part of the European market that definitely people should also be looking at. So I'm sure you said it, but I think I might have missed it. What is the overarching goal? In the sense of, if a developer is coming to do this, is the main aim to, are we looking at user acquisition on a large scale, or are we looking at, having visibility? Because those are two different things that need to be clear. How are you grading your activities with developers, with your plan of what you want to do? I have this up right now. That can give you a minute just
Hmm.
to go over. So we have it showing it in a very weird manner. I'll just take it out and I'll show it in a different way. Yeah. I'll show it in a different way, but I'll pull it up for everyone to see. That's the flyer for the Afro Game Showcase happening June 22nd, if I'm not wrong.
No,
Right?
20, the
25th.
25th. Yeah.
Yes. Happening June 25th on YouTube, Narratify Agency. Yes. So yes, back to you, Mikhail.
Yeah, basically the idea. The first thing is to connect African creators to publishers. So we are reading a bunch of scenarios, pitches, way to just introduce their games to companies that can have the possibility to support their studios and the possibility to achieve the game. And once it's done, for certain, depending on the step where you are in the production, we can also work on the marketing side. The main idea is to support games for PC and consoles. We are from this landscape. We can also work with mobile creators, but our main asset is to work with those that are willing to appear and to be visible directly to the future partners. So that's why the Afro Game Showcase is for the consumers indeed, but also for the other companies to see what is the potential, and afterwards have this possibility to be visible through the press, the international press, the global press, and have this second layer of discussion with those future partners. So, and it's not a matter of acquisition, because it's something that is more into a mobile landscape, if I may say. It's more a thing that is, when you have, for example, the figures or the KPI from Steam, it's something that is biased, because it could have a success that is not relying on the figures that you can imagine, for example, for big games like Fortnite or games like that. It's something that is not so visible for the consumers, right? For example, for Ubisoft, I used to play to work with them. A game that is selling at 1 million units, it's like a fail, right? For an indie, it's a massive success.
Yeah.
So that's why we are. We know the people, right? With Jennifer, the people that are intermediaries that could galvanize the visibility of the game. So it depends on your what you want at the very end as a studio. But the main thing is to see, for us, is to say that there is a lot of culture, a lot of ethnic groups from Africa that don't know the stories. You maybe have an idea that is a hidden gem, basically, and you are not so visible in the eyes of the player. So we are thinking of having this proper moment of crowdfunding, working with them, but also I am also thinking about those companies that want, for I love this example from Capcom, Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
This game was about Africa and the virus and so on, and all the people from this first village that you see in the game are very aggressive, angry about starving about blood and having this this horror and pressure for the player, and we
Yeah.
want to work in a proper sense to have something that is more solid and with created with the people from the ground, right? To have a real name of a real name of an area, for example, it was a fictional country, So this sense of authenticity is that to work with people that know the Africa, basically the different region and so on.
Wow. That's really amazing. That's really, really amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Well, I don't know if there are any questions. I'm sure the applications for the Afro Game Showcase has closed completely, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we have to look forward to now is the event. And at
Absolutely.
that event, can we have an idea as to what the next plan is? Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
for the event or for what we are doing.
yes.
Okay, for the event we will reveal a teaser in a few days, just to introduce a bunch of games, and also you will have for at the very end selection, curated selection of games, a dozen of games from our selection that are from Africa, but also from the diaspora, and also a couple of interviews that we will have, and pre-recorded interviews, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, with this event, we know event like Black Voices in Gaming, for example, during the Summer Game Fest and so on. We want to the idea of focusing on the continent is very, very important for us. I was in Morocco, for example, last week for the Morocco Gaming Expo, and it was super impressive to see all the people, indie creators that are there with their games, with their prototype, and so and people playing those games, those demo, and I'm pretty sure that they were there, but not so visible uh, in the eyes of the investors. There is there was a bunch of speech, but
Yeah.
they were like not so massive compared to what I had in mind.
Yeah.
So I saw those. I discussed with those different people, and with Jennifer, we put this idea in our mind to have one or two games from Morocco that we want to reveal, or to introduce to the people during this event. So that's why, even if the submissions are closed, we'll have one or two additional games from Morocco, because we feel that it is important. If you put aside all the different discussions that could be between behind closed door, if I could say,
Yeah.
we know we saw for example, we saw a game that is very inspired from GTA, and I didn't know this game before going to this event, and even if it won't, this one won't be one of the games that we will keep for the event.
Yeah.
There is a dozen that could be compatible for with the Afro Game Showcase. So
Yeah.
we'll pick two, and I hope that you will enjoy those games as we enjoyed them by playing them directly on the Morocco Gaming Expo.
Wow. That's amazing. That's really super. Yeah. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Oscar.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions. It looks like everything you are saying is self-explanatory. Everybody is okay with what you have said. Yeah. So the only thing I would ask from you right now as a closing note is you've worked in Ubisoft, you've worked in a much more, mature games industry market, and now
Mhm.
you're looking at working with African game developers. For a bulk of us, there's not a lot of money to put into marketing budgets and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But then everybody, definitely, I'm sure you've seen the hunger for growth here among the youths and the creatives. So, what are those unique things you've noticed from working with stakeholders in the market that perhaps gives you, how do I put it? What are those things you've noticed that are, what are the differences between this emerging market and where you're coming from? And what are those gaps you feel need to be worked on upon? Yeah.
Okay. You know, from those big companies, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the different practices, the different, especially concerning the communication stuff, and also those alternative way to create moment of engagement with the communities and so on. And I'm sure that. Even if there is a lot of different creators, developers from the continent, the African continent, there is something missing, a link between those people that have a lot of different idea in terms of community outreach, how to have a proper storytelling in your game, and we want to fill that gap with moment of workshop that we can have like Malio Games is doing with Game Up Africa, but we can have like something that is permanent, like a proper network, and people from those Western countries that could be there, discuss with them directly, and having some kind of ongoing mentorship for everyone,
Yeah.
and certain talks, moment like that. It's not a matter of money; it's a matter of meeting each other, having this common place, discuss with certain project, and having like proper moment of, hey, I have a problem, I want to unravel this situation where I have I am struggling for having those VFX in my game. Is there someone that could help me on this point? And yeah, having this moment of 2 or 3 weeks working together with those people, a couple of people that just help, would just like ease this proper way to work together. So that's why with Narratify, we are a company, consultancy company, but we can also accelerate this moment of collaboration. And it will be for free. It will be a matter of co-creating games together, have learnings from Niamacorp or other companies that have shipped a lot of different games. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that games from Morocco, but also other countries that we don't know in video game sector, like Algeria, I know a couple of games, but they are not so visible on the global scene. And yeah, having this logic of yeah, helping each other in a genuine way.
Wow. Super, super, super. Thanks so much for saying that. For everyone, I brought it up to the screen so that you can all see this is it. Do follow Agency on Instagram, on LinkedIn. You can find them there. This is the official flyer for the Afro Game Showcase, and it's happening June 25th. June 25th, it will be
Absolutely.
live streamed on YouTube, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. So, yeah, Mikhail, thank you so, so
Thank
much.
you, Oscar. Thank you for your time, and thank you everyone for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. Woo! That was exciting. Where is Fate? He has abandoned me. Okay, no problem. There you are. Wow, that was really exciting. And I saw the level of, production, the activities they had for Reluted, and that made it very exciting for me because, there are several pathways to success in this industry. Definitely, stakeholders have to define what success is for them. But then you also need to understand how to position yourself, carry out some activities in terms of public relations, partnerships, networking. And it was a really good launch in France, if you ask me. So shout out to those who applied, who look forward to seeing the games they select and decide to showcase on the live stream. Yo,
Yeah.
it's
And
exactly
when
2 hours. Yeah,
I, no, when it comes to games marketing, I mean,
yeah,
it's a really huge gap that should definitely not be overlooked. I mean, we see the kinds of budgets these bigger corporations put into just
yeah,
marketing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not an afterthought. They have over course of centuries discovered that this is a pretty pivotal part of the playbook. So even for
Definitely.
indie studios like Mikhail mentioned before he headed out, even for smaller studios, I mean, even if you don't have the large budget, there are other ways you can, go about positioning
And
your.
they said they're doing it for free. Hmm?
Exactly,
In
exactly.
this economy.
Even even if you don't have the largest budget, there's definitely a way that you can come through to make sure that you get enough exposure and marketing, and your product is reaching the audience that it deserves to reach. I mean, if you know that you built something great, you'd want by any means to get it out there to the people you'd like to see it. I mean, you didn't just build it for yourself; you built it for an audience. The audience would
Yeah,
love to see it, but there needs to be that effort to get it out there. So it's amazing what Narratify is doing. We love to see it, and we love to see more of that coming up as well.
definitely. So it's 2 hours and there's so much to share, but really I think we would what do we do? We just make the announcement and then we'll most likely call it a day. But I think I'll take the first announcement, which would be on the upcoming event, right? And then you get to speak on Give Dev Map, what we've done with that. I'll share my
Ah,
screen, you get to
yes.
push it. And then we'll wrap up with just pushing out the report, which we told people they'll get to see a copy of what we've been working on, what that report looks like. And yeah, so let me kick off. For last year, we embarked on working on the documentary and the industry report, and we had a games forum in the month of April before Games and SDG Summit, where we had the first look at what the documentary looks like. And the documentary has been completed, but we're going to be showing it through events, through conventions, you know, so if there's a games convention happening close by, let us know. Would love to screen the documentary there. It's a documentary about the African video games, animation, comics, and XR industry. We got to speak with some of the stakeholders across sub-Saharan Africa, and it's really fun. It's really fun. We got to interview about 70 people. Not everybody made the shot, obviously. Yeah, but there was one strong narrative where you can watch this, you can learn about what is going on in the industry. And looking at games events, the first games industry event the documentary will be screened at is Lagos Games Week. So
Yeah.
let me pull up the trailer for Lagos Games Week for you. It's a really nice one. I like it. Coming up, one, two, go.
Games are never complete. They evolve. They get polished, they get improved, they get enhanced.
Yes. So, everyone out there, the first place we'll be screening, the first games industry event we'll be screening the documentary unofficially is going to be at Lagos Games Week. We'll also get to, hear a presentation on the industry report that we have done. But Lagos Games Week is coming up. They've done the Pan African Game Jam. They've opened the call for, pitches and indie showcase. So I really, really am hoping that you got to apply for that. And 18th, 19th of June at the National Theatre. That's where the event is going to be happening during that period. You can go to www.lagosgamesweek.com to learn more about the event. If you're in Lagos, looking forward to seeing you physically. It's a free event, So you get to come in, interact with all the stakeholders. There's going to be showcase, gaming competitions, presentation, pitch competitions where people would win prizes, cash prizes, and so many more. I'm not allowed to disclose. Yeah. So, and we're also going to be there ensuring that you're having fun, obviously, adding the energy to it. And there'll be presentations. Like I said, we would also be screening the documentary. So Lagos Games Week, let me just copy that and share it with everyone. Yeah. So just go to lagosgamesweek.com, go get your ticket, and we look forward to seeing you there. So yes, Faith, I'm going to move up to you with respect to game dev map. We're excited. We're launching it today.
Yeah. So this is going live today. If you have been following us across any of our social media platforms, you must have seen the announcement we made earlier that we are putting Africa on the map, Africa video games industry on the map. So the Game Dev Map is, a global organization where they spotlight game studios, game organizations across the world. So as you can see, it's like an entire world map with strategic location points where you can find any organizations in the games industry across the world. And what we did was, in our extensive research with studios, with organizations, with all the people, all the stakeholders that are working in the games industry across Africa, we collaborated with Game Dev Map to put Africa on the map. So today it's going to go live, and then once you head onto the website, you'll be able to see all the, I don't want to say just studios, all the organizations, all the stakeholders in the games industry when it comes to Africa. So I mean, you may be checking out the map. It looks like there are a couple of dots here and there. When it's live and you refresh, you're gonna see a million dots. We made sure to get all every single stakeholder who's doing amazing work. We made sure that they were represented in the new and updated map. So that is one thing that we're doing, and it's really at the core of our work. At the end of the day, we really want stakeholders who are working in the industry to be rightly represented, to be out there for their work to be seen, especially if you have a viable product or a viable business and you're building something and you're contributing to the ecosystem in one way or the other. We make sure to check out your work and put it across there with Game Dev Map. So that announcement is going to go live, but obviously we had to let you all know first. So if you're on the stream, you know that you can head to Game Dev Map and you see all the latest information about all the stakeholders in Africa. Of course, you might want to nominate yourself or whatever business that is not yet on the map. That is completely fine. There are steps, there are different steps and stages on the website where you can, impute those details as well and let them know. But it's really amazing to see that there's so many stakeholders on the continent and we don't even know about them. Right, so this is going to be, like with the report we're working on, this is going to be a very large and extensive directory where you can say, okay, I want to find game studios on the continent, and you just go right there and you find exactly who you're looking for in whatever country that you're searching for, in whatever sector, whatever kind of game, whatever it is you need, you could find it, just on a quick search and Game Dev Map. So yeah, that is something we're really excited about, and we can't wait for everybody to check it out and see what's happening in the continent.
Yeah, I mean, it's already there. I think it's just the dots on the map that is not showing. From what I can see, everything has been updated. That's why it doesn't look.
Uh-huh.
I remember, I think some years back when I first saw Game Dev Map, um, if you're, I'd advise every studio to go check, because even when trying to upload, there were some things like, on the map we use Blue Sky and all, so there might be some studios that are not uploaded because we've mapped the ecosystem entirely. You'd see our mapping in the industry report. We also have our own interactive map like that on the website, but obviously it's not updated and all, and it's like hidden URL way within. We have that existing there, but why it was important for us to put it on the game dev map was because it's the world map. Africa Communicates interactive map was focused on Africa and beyond games, but this is for games industry, and we get to put studios alongside game studios from across the world. So that was really exciting. You can go on right now, head on to the website. I'll drop it there, gamedevmap.com. Go to your country and check to see if you're represented. We did push out as many. names as possible. Everything is in there. So just check it there. And if yours is not there for one reason or the other, feel free to fill the form to ensure that you are included the next time it's uploaded. So
Yes, fill
yeah.
that out.
So I guess I'm next, right?
Uh
Just to
huh.
wrap things up. Great, 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 great. We've I
Drum
mean it's
rolls.
drum rolls, drum rolls. First thing first. Yes. So drum rolls. Where's the drum rolls?
Ready?
Yeah. Oh, look at me. Yes. So, first thing first, as you know, we now have a Unity user group, an official one. That is what is showing on the screen right now. We want you to join the Unity user group. It's our way of, a lot of the game developers on the continent make use of Unity. So if you're watching this, just bring out your phone, scan that. A lot of game developers on the continent make use of Unity, and with our official Unity user group, we can now create tailored services, tailored support to those developers. We're going to be starting our ARC boot camp. It's a game dev boot camp where developers were a part of the program, a 3 month program after which you go on to build games, and the best games get prototype funding from Africa Comic Aid, as we have done in the last 4 years. So if you are excited for this, please scan that, join the user group. We're going to be sharing the form out by the end of this week. So please join the Unity user group so that we can have everyone together. And they're going to be mixers and so, so much more. And the second one is the report. Yeah. So you can have the first look at the report right now by just scanning the QR code you have on your screen. Just scan that, you get to see the industry report, you get the preliminary view of what the report looks like. And yeah, so as you know, with the upcoming conventions, we're going to be pushing all those things out there. If you want to see the documentary as well, you can find this out publicly right now. Documentary will be screened at Lagos Games Week. You can view the preliminary report, what it looks like. And yeah, we do really appreciate your feedback, your comments. When you watch the documentary, we want to know what you think about it. We want to see what we can do better. And just so you know as well, like we mentioned, we interviewed about 70 stakeholders across the continent, and there's so much content, which what we'll be doing in the coming months, I think after the first half of the year, because it's been an amazing first half so far. But after the first half of the year, we should be properly settled to now release all those interviews, all those stories. I'm really excited about that. So check the report. Um, if there's a convention close by to you, let us know so that we can screen the documentary there, and it can be more of a group screening because we'd love to get feedback from everyone. But we did this to properly represent the industry. um, we did it to properly represent the industry. We did it to spotlight the stakeholders and the activities in. And I'm very confident that for everyone who goes through the document, who watches the report, who watches the documentary, I switched it. For
Yeah.
everyone who watches the documentary and who reads the report, you would find something there for you. Yeah, I think that's it. There are many other things to mention,
Yeah.
but
We
it's
must
we're way
wrap.
over time. So we'll
Yeah.
share that. Make sure you're subscribed to our newsletter, because now that we are done with this, we get to share those other information on the newsletter, and you can be a part of that as well. Just before I go, I think some very important stuff. If you are going for Gamescom, we have definitely released our call for Gamescom scholarships. The form is out there. It's closing this week. Sorry, I can't share that now because of time, but it's already on our social media. It's on our newsletter as well. Make sure you check that. We're going to share it again. So the Gamescom scholarships are open. You should definitely go there and ensure you indicate interest. And I also learned that Games Connect Africa is interested in knowing people who are traveling for Gamescom. If you know Games Connect Africa, that's run by the Goethe Institute. They are looking to know which Africans are going to Gamescom. Perhaps they want to support one way or the other. So they have a form as well for that, for people who are traveling to just let them know. I've dropped that form in the comment section as well. All of this would be shared. All of this and many more will be shared in the newsletter that will come out this week. But this is all I think I can scramp in for now. It's 2 hours, almost 15 minutes in, and this was nice. Faith, what do you think about this? What do you think about today? Do you feel like you really celebrated Africa?
Oh, I do feel that, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's not balloons and pop hearts or whatever. It is these kinds of gatherings where we actually why did you say that so like in disbelief? But yeah, it's about these kind of things where we support and spotlight what is being built on the continent and what the sector is doing and things that are growing and things that are working and things that everybody needs to know. This is how we move Africa forward at the end of the day. And it's felt very, it really felt like an Africa day to me. I mean,
Are you
for the
sure?
it
Okay, no problem. I'm not judging. I'm not
I
judging.
get it, but that's your business. It
Yeah.
was very much like an Africa Day. I have celebrated Africa Day, and I feel very African having done that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
And special thank you. Shout out to everybody who took our time to join us in the sessions. Special shout
Yeah.
out to Wendy, to Lola Day, to Wema, to Mikhail. Thank you so much for taking out time to spend with us and share your insights, your knowledge, what you're working on with us. We're really excited with you, with people like you. Yeah, using the camera was very funny. With people like you, definitely Africa, there's so much hope for Africa. The work you do is very important. And for me, I personally believe there's no one path to what we are all pursuing. Everybody's looking for sources. Nobody is coming into this industry to look for failure. And there's no one path. And it's exciting to see different stakeholders are addressing it from different points of view, because all these points of views are also very important. So thank you so much. Thank you. A round of applause for you all. Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone watching, everyone who shared the link across. Obviously, you can rewatch. This is going to be publicly available, so you can definitely copy the link. If you missed any sessions, you can go back to the beginning where we're talking about how to really manage your mental health as a creative. That is a very important segment. I think everyone should listen in on as well. And again, the Roblox segment we had with Wema, when he talked about the game he's building with Roblox and the amazing use of AI in game design. I know everyone is shying away from that, but he really addressed it head on. That was an amazing session. And then obviously we had Mikhail come in as well and speak about what Nertify is doing with games marketing, and how even if you don't have a budget for marketing, you can definitely come on board and get your product out there. It's been a very full 2 hours Africa Day stream. So please do share it, do get back and rewatch. And thank you so much for joining and being with us up to this moment. Yeah.
And with that, guys, would say thank you very much. Have a lovely evening and
Bye bye.
bye.
Bye.